I'm back with another lightning round of awesome eShop deals for ya. Let's dive right into the list. The Metro games are some really interesting first-person shooters that incorporate elements of survivor horror both into its story and presentation. In these games, survivors have taken refuge after a nuclear war, and players must traverse the tunnels underneath Moscow while fighting off opposing humans and horrific mutant enemies that threaten to rip them apart. Cool setting and premise aside, both games, Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light, have some great stories to tell that are truly engaging and have some terrific gameplay to back it up as you face the horrors. Both games have been awarded with lots of praise that is definitely deserved. Right now, Metro Redux, which is a bundle of both games, is at a terrific value, retailing for just $4.49 on the eShop. That's basically just a little over $2 per game, making the bundle currently one of the best deals on the eShop. In Flipping Death, you play as Penny, who dies. Yeah, that kinda sucks for her. But then she wakes up, and she has finally found a job, which is filling in for Death himself. That's good. Maybe. In this game, you'll need to flip between worlds as you help the living and the dead while solving puzzles in this very funny adventure game. The humor in this one is a treat, and at just $1.99, man, it cannot be beat. Now, I didn't mean to rhyme there, it just kinda came out that way. Oh well, just make sure to check this one out. It's a steal at that price. The Disgaea series is known for its trademark zany humor, its great SRPG gameplay with a mass amount of replayability, often to the level of insanity. If you want to do everything in a game, you'll easily spend hundreds of hours. A great jumping in point for the series, honestly, is Disgaea 4. It has an excellent story, a good cast of characters, as well as some of the best gameplay mechanics in the series. The Complete Plus edition on Switch includes the game, plus every single piece of DLC and content ever for the game. It's a definitive edition of the game, and for just $17.49, it's a pretty darn good deal for new players and series veterans alike. I wasn't aware that a version of the King of Fighters 13 came out on Switch. This game sure flew under the radar. This version on Switch includes the classic game in all its original glory, but now it has rollback netcode with online multiplayer, which is a huge plus for many players. All 36 playable characters are also included from the start too. I remember playing the King of Fighters 13 on the PS2 back in the day. It's a good fighting game for sure, and it's great that players can enjoy the game again in all its complete glory. It's on sale on the eShop for $15.99 until September 12th. In the near future, Capcom will be releasing 2 new fighting collections for the Switch, that being the Marvel vs. Capcom Collection and the recently announced Capcom Fighting Collection Volume 2. Both collections will be filled to the brim with some long-requested classics. Well, let's not forget about the other sweet fighting collections you can get on the Switch. The Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection contains a slew of Street Fighter arcade games. It includes the first Street Fighter game, 6 entries in the Street Fighter II series, the Street Fighter Alpha series, and 3 games in the Street Fighter III series. Also included is the ability for online multiplayer, loads of options to customize the games to your needs, and a pretty good sized museum mode. There's a lot of content here, and it's only $9.99 via the latest sale. The Capcom Fighting Collection, which is a sister collection to the Street Fighter 1, includes nearly every Darkstalkers arcade game, as well as Cyberbots, Red Earth, Hyper Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Edition, and Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, and Super Gem Fighter Mini Mix. The Japanese versions are included too, just like with the Street Fighter Collection, as well as online play and the Museum Gallery mode. It's only $15.99 via the sale, but if you want both, there's an even better deal. You can get both collections for just $19.99. With this, basically you get the Street Fighter collection for just $4 more. That is a tremendous value. This is a great time to pick up either collection or both at those killer prices. One of my absolute favorite games for the Switch is the amazing Monster Hunter Rise. I've raved about this game over the years, longtime viewers know this, but hey, I can't help myself. I gotta give it another shout out, because I feel that this is a game that everyone should at least give this game a go on the Switch. In Rise, the monster hunting is better than ever now, with much faster gameplay, as well as the addition of the new rideable palamutes to make for faster movements too, on top of having tons of weapons to use and master, and loads of equipment and customization options that you can obtain from bashing the monsters to bits. There's a ton of content to tackle, so many missions and events in the game, and between the free updates and the Sunbreak DLC expansion, holy cow, this is just one massive game that you will find hundreds of hours of enjoyment in. The online multiplayer is fantastic, it's pretty flawless on the Switch, and it's easy to jump in and out of lobbies and hunts as you wish. You can get the complete experience, Monster Hunter Rise, with the Sunbreak expansion for just $19.99. Trust me on this one, it'll be the best $20 you'll spend on the Switch. If you're looking for a damn good platformer for the Switch, then you can honestly do no wrong with picking up Yooka-Laylee and the impossible Lair for the system. This is a fantastic platformer in the style of the Donkey Kong Country games, with some 3D platformer elements thrown in as well. It is a challenging game for sure, but it has some excellent level design, along with some great gameplay mechanics. On top of that, it's a gorgeous looking platformer for the system, and it runs at 60 FPS too. It's back on sale on the eShop for $2.99. Dying Light is a treat. This zombie survival game has you fighting off enemies while performing parkour to get around the hordes, while also collecting items and finding weapons to help you in completing your missions. The Definitive Edition here includes all the DLC ever released for the game, all the content, updates, everything. With the amount included here, you can easily spend over 100 hours or more trying to complete and explore everything. In addition to the single player stuff, there is local multiplayer support, and it even has online multiplayer play too, so it's a great game to play with friends. It runs well on the system, and for all the content, you can't go wrong at $9.99. It's a pretty darn good deal. One of my favorite twin-stick shooters of all time is Geometry Wars. That game, and its sequel, was a blast to play back in the Xbox Live days, but for some reason or another, we haven't seen another game in the series for quite some time. Luckily, I may have found a spiritual successor on Switch, and that game's name is Prix Infinity. This game is just as chaotic and fun as the Geometry Wars games, with a similar visual style to boot that really pops if you play this on an OLED screen. There's 3 single-player modes to blast through: Time Attack, Power Wave, and Survival, but there's also local multiplayer included too, with co-op and versus modes to enjoy. Now this is normally $5 on the eShop, so at $3.99, the discount isn't amazing, but hey, for just $4, if you're hungry for a twin-stick shooter, I think this one is a winner. Baseball fans, looking to maybe get the latest baseball game on Switch, can pick up the latest version of MLB The Show at a brand new low price of just $19.79. This game just came out in March, and normally we don't see pricing like that this low so fast. And actually, when I checked it, the last game, MLB The Show 23, was never this low on the eShop ever. So hey, I'm not complaining. I'm actually glad they finally dropped the MLB game for under $20 on the eShop. If you're interested, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on September 10th. XIII is coming very soon. It'll be out in just a few months, and what better way to get ready for it than to check out what many series fans consider to be the very best game in the series, at least up to this point, the amazing and wonderful XIII. This action RPG is a treat, with some of the very best gameplay in the series to date, building off the prior entries' gameplay mechanics. At just $19.99, it's worth checking out for sure if you're craving a good action RPG for the system. If you like to play fighting games for the Switch, then you gotta get Mortal Kombat 11. I've always said the Ultimate Edition is the way to go if you intend to pick it up, as it contains everything. All the extra characters, all the content, all the updates, it's everything. It is the complete edition, hence the Ultimate in the title. It's also incredibly cheap to get for the system. The Ultimate Edition is only $8.99 on the eShop. Now some of you are going to look at this next game and go, really? Is this game really worth it? For $4? $3.99? It most certainly is. Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2 Grand Prix is a surprisingly solid kart racing game with a nice wide cast of characters, featuring Nickelodeon favorites like the Rugrats, Hey Arnold, Ninja Turtles, and more. The racing in this one is fun. It's pretty easy to pick up and play. There's a nice variety to the tracks, with some fun power-ups to use to beat up your opponents. If you're craving another kart racer, or you're looking for a good family-friendly game for your kids, then this is definitely not a bad pickup at just $3.99. You could do a whole lot worse, for sure. Both Figment games are some really solid games. Both games follow the story of the characters Dusty and Piper as they explore the human mind and fight off against enemies and bosses that intend to take over. As you tackle the enemies that haunt the mind, expect to take on many puzzles that need to be solved, while also engaging in musical showdowns against crazy bosses. Yes, you heard right, those musical showdowns. Every boss battle is a musical that is sung by the characters in the game, and generally, music is a big part of this game's flow overall. I get it, the concept sounds pretty weird, but trust me, it's the highlight of each game for sure. Now, I've talked about the Figment games many times in the past on this channel, but they have never been this cheap to get ever. You get both in a bundle for just $3.99 on the eShop. Basically $2 each, that's a hell of a deal. In my previous video, I talked about the Dead Cells Return to Castlevania bundle, and I kinda made a mistake. I kinda goofed there and thought it was like the physical release. No, it just includes the Castlevania DLC with Dead Cells. Instead, what you really want, if you want everything together and you haven't gotten it yet, is the Dead Cells Medley of Pain bundle. This one includes all the content, all the DLC ever released with the game. This is on sale for $23.99, which is a brand new low price in the eShop. And there you go, another round of awesome eShop deals for ya. Make sure to post in the comments down below if you plan to pick up anything from the sale. Also, feel free to post if there's a game that I need to check out that's on sale that you think is a gem. I'm looking forward to reading those replies, but until then, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you on the next video.